Hello, my name is Jeff Jamiolo, and today I'm talking about generational curses. What's interesting about generational curses is most people actually probably have one and not even aware of it. Does it run in your family to actually have alcoholism, smoking, you know, you know, cheating on your spouse? Does divorces, do they run in your family? Pay attention. Generational curse breaking. Generational curses are something that's passed on from generation to generation. Usually, there's many ways it can actually happen. Usually it could be spell work. Someone could put a curse on you. Could be. Some people have a lot of envy, a lot of hate. Yeah. I wish you never amounted to anything. I wish you would be poor your entire life. Welcome to generational curses. That's how they start. Let me tell you who I am. I'm a generational curse breaker for my family. I was selected to be the generational curse breaker. Actually, for both families, for the Jamiolo family and the Fisher family. To my understanding, I was not the only one for the Fisher family. There was a second one. Except he didn't come to God. If he would have came to God, he would be a generational curse breaker. But for the Fisher family, which has an issue with poverty, for one, curse with poverty, the Jamil family is a lot more diverse. Well, actually, the Fisher family actually had alcoholism was one of their things. The Jamil family had cheating on your spouse like constantly. That pretty much runs in the family. As I said, it normally, generational curses usually have to do with envy. People envy other people. People just have a general hatred toward other people. And there's some really weird generational curses. Here's a good example. The stupidest thing I've ever heard of, but it seems to be accurate. Jamiolo has a family curse that whoever you will marry whoever you complain about the most. In other words, if I complain about lawyers, I will marry a lawyer. My stepfather complained about government employees and married one. My little brother complained about factory workers, married one. Complained about government employees, married one. Interesting. Makes me wonder who I talk about. As I said, it's interesting. Oddly enough, 9 times out of 10, most people don't have to be a generational curse breaker to break a generational curse in your family. You'd just have to recognize that this is a pattern and say to yourself, hey, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be an alcoholic. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to womanize. I've seen what it does. I don't want to do that to another person. Basically, it's you take the high road and say, no, I don't want that. And after a period of time, say 5 years or 10 years or some arbitrary period, curse is broken because you didn't do what they did. And then your generations go, yay. So if I remember correctly, when you break a generational curse, it breaks all your timelines, if you believe in that. So all your timelines of you and the generations that suffered from that are now free of that, so they're quite happy with you. Usually good things happen to you from your ancestors at that point, because once you start breaking those cycles, they'll give you anything you want because they tried their entire life. No shame on them, they tried. But I'm a generational curse breaker for my families, both my families. And oddly enough, if I remember correctly, for the Jamiolo family, in the spirit realm, it was mentioned that, well, you're not related, you're not by blood. And basically the family said, we want him anyway. So I'm adopted. So that tells you how much faith they have in the biologicals. Yeah. But as I said, generational curses is sort of very interesting. There's a lot of weird ones out there. I do also want to mention free will and God's will. Free will is funny because everyone says, "Well, I got free will." Yeah, you do. Think of it like going bowling. When you're a child, you go bowling. They put those little bumpers up so you don't gutter the ball. I forgot what they call them, gutter bumpers or whatever. So you as a child, you are just throwing this stuff. You're doing what you do, and you're just hitting these bumpers. Oh, your life's good. Okay, so God kind of lets you do your thing, and then God kind of reins you in and says, "No, you can't be doing that anymore. You should know better than to do that." As He starts trying to stop you from playing the gutter ball like you've been guttering. But then you end up being 35, 40 years old and you still got the gutters up because that's more fun than having gutters. So you're not listening at all. So you took your free will and God's ticked at you because of your free will, because He's trying to nudge you into His will, which could be much better. And let me rephrase that. It is almost always much better. But you don't know that because you know the devil you know. It's like, oh, well, I'm used to him. Me and him go out drinking every night. Like, well, maybe that's not good for you. So, as I said, everyone has free will, and God has the right to destroy your free will too. Just kind of remember that too. Because God will, if you're in a bad marriage where you think that guy is as hot as heck. Oh man, I love him or I love her so. She's smoking hot. You think He won't flame that relationship in a heartbeat? You think both sides, there'll be some problems in that relationship real quick? He will make sure that baby flames. If you're not supposed to be with that one. One other side note. There's also, in the spirit world, before you even came here as a soul, you signed up like a contract that you're going to do A, B, and C. And if you actually don't fulfill that contract, you could also get a generational curse that way. So when you said you're going to do something and you didn't, God's like, well, are you sure you want to do this? Did you read the fine print? No, I want to be a superstar. Look, I'm already halfway there. No problem. Then throws it over to the devil, says, yours now. And the devil will torch that little pig like you wouldn't believe, with God's blessing. You think I'm wrong? Ask God. What's funny thing about my job is, I heard something the other day that made me laugh so much. And I know God has a sense of humor. Okay. Now God has a real good sense of humor because He knows I have a sense of humor. He says, my little earth angel, did you know that a person you came to help prayed for your demise? Really? Wouldn't tell me who. I was like, wow, that's messed up. He goes, that's okay. We got him. And that's the funny part. It's like, you prayed for my demise when I was sent there to help you. I'm sure it'll work well. And enjoy the karma that you got. And we'll see in the next couple lifetimes if you get through your karma. You'll continue to relive it because that's a no-no. That is a no-no. As a general rule, generally when an earth angel actually comes down on your family line, or you come in contact with one, it is, you can think of it like an act of repentance. So if you treated them well, you got blessings. You treated them poorly, you got karma. You got the lesson. And the lesson you'll be living for the next couple lifetimes. So that's generational curses, plus a little more. Just trying to inform you, and just remember, despite there's free will, I don't always like it myself, but usually God's will is better than my free will. He has a much more wicked imagination than I do. Let's just say I'm a realist. Okay? If Wildest dream was that I go over and I meet a star. That would be my wildest dream. God's will is a little bit different. God will go over and say, no. I want you to go meet this one here, this star. And by the way, you're going to get married to her, by the way. What? Sorry, blow my mind. That's what God will do. Because God's will is a lot different than our will. It'll still be within the realm of the kingdom. I'm sure we'll be singing gospel music. But it will be God's will. You have to choose. God's will is very interesting because I live by God's will. I learned very early in life that if I don't exercise a lot of free will, and I just do what I'm told, life's a little bit easier. And it's not to say I'm a robot. I'm quite crazy sometimes. But at the same time, I'm fun. So I'd share that. Thank you for listening.